Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I was going to do like a queen, like, hello. Is that a queen thing? Like the queen of England?
Which queen?
Like the Queen of England.
Does she do that?
She doesn't anymore.
Oh my god. Wow.
Welcome to Membriash.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Mitch.
And we're here to celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers.
Should we? Let's both do it. I don't know. So we kind of, it felt like overnight is actually like a week went from like 500 to well over 1,000 subs, and it's felt amazing. Actually being YouTube partners and seeing that people are enjoying the stuff we're putting out this much is kind of the biggest mind, honestly.
Yeah, it's been really cool. We didn't really tell, initially we didn't really tell anybody in our life that we were doing this. And weren't really promoting it anywhere.
It sort of organically happened.
And it's such a cool community of people that have come together and added stuff to the comment section. That makes me really happy too, because I hear a lot about the toxicity of the internet, and it's true. And
we've seen it, and
I've felt it for sure. But I just rarely feel that way when I'm checking out our comment section.
Yeah, it's always kind of a treat.
Yeah.
Minus the errands, one or two. Right, yeah. Which is a very small number, all things considered. So we also talking about we want to really enjoy where the channel is right now and how good it feels putting stuff out every day. Because I know sometimes people have troubles depending on what happens, but we definitely don't feel that right now.
Yeah.
And so this is honestly a thank you. And if you're clicking on this, I'm assuming you're interested in a little bit about us, because we haven't really talked much about us. You give little snippets when you're watching, but who are we? We got a bunch of questions, and so we're gonna go through. I think everyone that asked a question I got. If I didn't, put the question in the comments below and I'll answer it in text. I didn't answer in text before because we're doing this video, but go ahead, and if you have any other follow-up questions or whatever, throw them down below and then we can answer those in the comments.
I would also say too, I've seen some other YouTube creators do this, and I think it's really cool. But we're kind of introducing ourselves here. If you want to introduce yourself in the comments below,
that's cool.
If you want to answer any of these questions, if any of them appeal to you, and you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, I would really love that. It's a cool way to get to know people, and a lot of people have shared a lot of really cool things, and it'd be nice to get to know, where are you from, do you have a partner, how long have you guys been together, and then there's some interesting / weird questions in here too that I would really love to know the answers to for a lot of people. So if you feel comfortable doing that, please answer one of these yourself and introduce yourself. Oh, well, first thing we actually have to address is a question that I don't think we have a snapshot of it, but someone asked.
We've heard it a few times.
Who the man is in our back. We both really like Halloween, so we have Halloween decorations that stay up in our house year round, and our skeleton named Orville is one of them.
Yeah. We have a dog. We have two dogs. One of the dogs, his name is Oliver, and I think he's a tall, skinny dog, and Orville was sort of a perversion of that. Also, my dad's middle name is Orville, and he's also kind of tall and skinny, so it's kind of fit, so we called him Orville.
And he's wearing a large assortment of clothes. Orville is a never nude, so he is wearing small jean shorts.
Jean shorts. I forgot about that.
He has his jean shorts on all the time.
You can never see him because I'm in the way, but he's got the jean shorts. All right. First question. This is from One Waiting. Do you pronounce the H in that? Waiting?
Waiting.
I think you would.
You got to.
Enjoying these reaction vids. Congrats on the channel growth. Also, I keep noticing Ashley's regional accent. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Wisconsin, and then lived in Chicago, then moved to Tampa area in Florida for a few years, and then I've been living in the Pacific Northwest ever since.
I follow the same trajectory. I was born in northern Michigan, but we met in Wisconsin. We'll get to that.
I think I also work with Midwesterners right now. I work with a lot of Minnesotans. So, some of my Wisconsin accent is, pushing back through.
Sort of, people can still pick up on it. We dropped quite a bit of our accent, especially living on the West Coast. But, yours might be coming back a bit. I notice it sometimes.
I'm just kind of weird, too.
Yeah.
I like pronouncing things weird sometimes. Or, I'll catch what someone else will say, and it'll stick without me even really noticing it. So then it'll get incorporated, and then it's made whatever this is.
Yeah. So here you go. It's kind of just being all over the country, really.
Yeah. Okay. Matt Paihanan.
Matt has a math Paihanan.
Math Paihanan is how did you meet?
So how did we meet? We met. Well, actually, technically, we met in like 6th grade and never remembered it. 7th?
7th grade.
7th grade. We signed each other's. I didn't have a yearbook because I never got a yearbook.
You signed mine.
I signed hers, and we didn't realize until we were dating in senior year, the very end of senior year of high school.
5 years later.
Yeah. So we went to school pretty much from 7th grade, which was when she first moved to my hometown, up until, we've been together ever since. We went to school that entire time, and technically we met them. I didn't even know her. I didn't remember her. I didn't know her until the end of senior year. We were in class together. I was kind of quiet. I just kind of sat, and I was always like never near you. Right?
This man says he's quiet, but he would show up to school with like a bucket on his head.
No, that was a project.
There was nothing quiet about what was happening. No, okay.
So I think towards the end of high school, I stopped giving a and I started like kind of acting out a little bit. I was doing fine. I was getting fine grades. I was in like a mixture of like advanced and non-advanced classes and stuff. So I wasn't like completely giving up on my education, but I was also just sort of not caring what people thought about me anymore. And I was just being kind of ridiculous. I'd wear pajamas and my hair was long. And that's when she fell in love. Well, you tell how you saw me.
Oh yeah, that's true. My best friend and I were working on a project about the American dream, which like
we hated.
It was terrible, but we were like just driving around and we saw Mitch, and my friend was friends with Mitch, so we stopped and started harassing him with a video camera.
Like asking who my American dream was. Yeah,
erratically. Yeah. And that's technically the first like time we interacted.
And it's on tape. We have the tape in the recorder, but we don't know how to play it.
Yes.
And we've had it the entire time.
So technically we have a tape of like the first time that we like interacted. And then from there on, I think it was just like we were kind of like inseparable.
We just kind of instantly fell in love, honestly. Like we were just like, we were giving each other trash in class. And our teacher was chill as hell though, because he definitely saw us like flirting. And we kind of stopped paying attention. We checked out as like the last like couple months of senior year.
I also had undiagnosed ADHD. So like I was erratic.
And he never bothered us though. We started sitting next to each other and never stopped.
Oh, it's true. Well, I mean, kind of. And then Kai4202 has a similar question. How long have you been together? How'd you build such a smooth connection? I round up to 20 years. It's 19 years.
No, it's 20 years in like 2 months though.
No, isn't it 19 in 2 months? Oh no, you're right. It's 20 in 2 months.
It's 19. It's 19.8
20
years or something.
So really, really long time. Yeah. And we've been married for 10. I don't
know. We got married in a courthouse, and we don't even know what date. Her mom will occasionally tell us it's our anniversary, and we're like, okay. We celebrate our dating anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, how did you build such a smooth connection? Is the next comment kind of like this too? Yeah, okay.
Sort of. So we'll show Victoria's comment up here in the Q&A. How did y'all know that each other were the right person to build a life with? I think that kind of isn't in line with the. We'll go. How do you build a smooth connection? For me, I actually do have a pretty specific answer for that.
Oh.
For me, I think it's. Well, this is kind of, who knows, honestly. There's so many different things. But one thing that I actually think has really helped with the connection you're seeing on camera is that we have spent hours and hours and hours and hours of our life driving around in the car and talking.
Yeah.
It's like that we always had our best conversations. We would just talk like this endlessly.
Yeah.
And even at times when we weren't like around each other as much as we are now, we would, if we were stressed out, we'd take a drive.
Yeah. And
especially being in the Pacific Northwest, we'd go places, we'd see mountains and trees and stuff, and we just chat. So
yeah.
That is a big part of the smoothness of like the way we talk, I guess.
I think it's also for me like, and I think part of it is just kind of like luck of the draw. Like we were, I mean, in some ways lucky, in some ways unlucky to meet each other so early.
Yeah.
Because I don't think either of us were ready for the kind of relationship that we had that young. But I think we both like have similar enough viewpoints on things that we can have conversations
big stuff.
About the big stuff, and it's not, neither one of us walks away like heated or, you know, like there are certain things that are like values that I hold that if my partner didn't hold, I would have a very hard time interacting with that person on a regular basis, and we align on those things. And then we also have different enough life perspectives and like value each other's life perspectives that we're able to have long conversations and kind of go back and forth and be like, oh, I didn't see it that way, or I've never thought of something, or maybe I don't completely agree with you, but like I see what you're saying, and that's an interesting perspective.
Sometimes we're open enough to like ideas that we'll argue with ourselves or we'll contradict our own points too. So we're very open, just like bringing things up, and I think you see that in the video at times. We're like, what about that? And then we'll kind of argue our way out of it. And we're both pretty flexible with like, oh, I never thought of it that way, and like, yeah, that makes sense. Let me sit on it. It's like being open to being wrong, and well, I mean, as far as like the conversation part of our relationship, I wanted to answer this like last part here, like what's too much of an ick to get over, and I think it plays into why I love Ashley so much. For me, too much of an ick is really awful moral values. Honestly, like people that aren't kind, people that like do things to be mean. Like that kind of stuff. I think one of the things I love most about Ashley is how kind she is and how big her heart is. And like when people are mean to her or she sees people being mean to each other, she gets super like invested and like emotionally impacted by it. And I mean, like you see her empathy on camera all the time, like not so much on this season of Love is Blind, but like on Bachelor, she's crying half the episodes because she's feeling people's pain. And I think like that's what's beautiful. I don't think you've ever really done anything mean. I mean, you said like one mean thing to somebody who was bullying you, but that's like somebody pushing you and you just kind of like getting frustrated. But you never come to people like viciously, and I think it's amazing. And that is a deal breaker for me. Like you are a good person, and for me, like, that's so nice. Okay, well, did you have one? No.
Oh my God, the pressure! I feel like we're doing like vows, and I like didn't prepare.
Okay. Well, I did think about this in advance. Sorry.
Yeah. I kind of want to answer maybe not the like what's too much of an ick to get over, because mine is very similar. Like if I was with someone that was, and I know a lot of people say this stuff, but like mean to like wait staff, like rude to like someone that's like checking you out at the grocery store, or really anyone, but especially like in those scenarios
people in like service positions, it's like exploitation of power or something, right?
Exactly.
Like when you use your power position to like hurt people or look down on them.
That's like way too much of an ick for me.
I agree massively. Not even like tipping well. If I were dating and people didn't want to tip well, I wouldn't.
And not because they can't afford it, but because they don't want to.
That's
because
key.
Like I don't really care like how much money like my partner makes, but I do care like if you have it and you're not willing to share it with other people, like I don't like that.
I absolutely agree.
And then honestly, like I get the ick from people just randomly, and I don't even know why. Like I've had friends before
friends that you were like
that I'm like, oh no, like no, thank you, you know, and like
you get
they're
the ick from almost everybody at some point.
Yeah.
Not like in a mean way, but like
but like, in the way that I this person, I need some time.
I would never want to date them. Yes, I feel like you end up that way a lot.
Yeah, I do. And then the other piece of this is, how did you know that the person was the person worth investing in? And I don't know if I have a great answer. My answer is not sweet for this, but honestly, like we were kids when we got together. Yeah. We had no business being in the level of relationship, in my opinion, that we were in that young. We kind
of U-hauled it.
We did. Yeah. Really fast. Yeah. And it was way too fast. I don't think either of us was ready for it. And frankly, the honest answer, whether this is healthy or not, is that like we just could not stay away from each other.
Well, we've said like there were times when our relationship wasn't healthy. In the beginning it felt kind of like a love at first sight. Like I felt more connected to you than with anybody I've ever met.
Yeah,
but in that was like us not understanding how to like give space or like make time for friends and like all that. Like I kind of burned some bridges at the time and I regret it. I mean, we've grown since then.
Getting past those growing pains, at some point we decided like we're going to invest in this relationship where
we kind of kept coming back. We sort of broke up countless times. It was the early days of Facebook. Our statuses got really annoyingly changed way too often to a certain point where we just stopped putting anything up there because I was like, this is frustrating. Like, let's just stop. And then we stopped using Facebook.
Yeah. So anybody that's like goals, I mean, if you would have seen us in the beginning of our relationship,
thought we were a mess.
No goals, you know, definitely.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I think we've gotten to a place that feels really good, but
and we worked really hard to get here.
Yeah. Speaking of difficult growing pains, Susie Q asks, I remember y'all talking about being in a long distance relationship. How do you guys make that work? How long have y'all been together? It's been bad. at times, and it's been really good at times as far as making that work. And the first time was college.
Yes. Yeah. And that was really, really hard. I went away to college. You stayed in our hometown at first and then moved a little bit closer, but neither of us had reliable transportation. So even though we were technically pretty close, we weren't like countries apart.
Well, she went to school in Chicago, but it was like, wintertime, the bus didn't come to my college and stuff. And I would like walk through the snow an hour to get to a bus. And no, it sounds like one of these old, like, I walked through I did, though.
You did.
And I took the bus to the train and took the train to Chicago and then took, like, the different, like, L's on the Chicago line to come down to where you were. And that's what we did. And I saw her as often as I could, which wasn't every weekend at all, and it was tough. It was really tough on both of us.
It was really hard.
But I also didn't want, like, she's my person, I didn't want to have a different option. Like, people flirted with both of us and wanted to, get in the way of our relationship, but we wanted each other. And I don't know. It was, you just keep on like focusing on what you want.
Yeah. And then there was a second time where we were long distance where I moved for a job, and again, not like across the country long distance, but several hours away. It was difficult to see each other.
Almost 2 or 3, depending on traffic.
And without reliable transportation to be able to do that on a regular basis. And that one, in some ways, was better.
We were super busy. That was when we were in Oregon.
Yeah.
When we've been in the Northwest for a really long time. Almost 10 years now, maybe more. I don't know. She was working her incredibly busy job that included 13-hour days, and I was going back to school. We kind of like bounced back and forth between supporting each other in like career changes. And that's kind of what's happening right now. Is she's supporting me, like helping build this as a potential career, and yeah, it was so busy that it kind of went by pretty well. But we still made time. That we talked when we could.
We also gave each other a lot of space. And like, I don't always love this word, but we gave each other grace. Like, he knew sometimes I didn't get home until 11 o'clock at night, and I had to be back at work at like 8 in the morning. And if I didn't have time to talk, I knew that I could text him and just be like, I had a terrible day. Or I could call him on the way
happened a lot.
home and be like, I am sorry, but I can't. Like, I don't have the like emotional or mental capacity to talk right now. And he would be like, okay, I get it. And I knew that I had that support from you, and that was enough.
Yeah.
But we were very independent at that point.
Yeah, we were. That's probably the most independent we ever were, but it felt secure and comfortable.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, because we were both
really
like,
good.
Yeah.
And we gave each other, I think, the trust and the support that we needed, and then kind of were like cheering each other on, each doing separate things, and then also making a plan for how we were going to get our lives back together.
It was like a 5-year plan thing, like for real. We were like, what's our life? How's it going to look in a couple of years? What do we need to get there? Yeah. It was very like, these are the steps we must take to get what we want kind of thing.
And that second time, the time that we were older and it was healthy, we ended up long distance for a year that time, and then we moved
all together
here.
Yeah. This one's an interesting one for me. Math Pi Hanan asks, if I may ask outside of YouTube, what do you guys do? I used to be a teacher, so I got a master's degree in for teaching, and I was a math teacher, which I actually love that Math Pi Hanan is asking this. So I was like a middle and high school math teacher. I left that career right at the end of like the COVID long distance learning. So I was there through all that, and then I left at the end of that. And since then, I've kind of done like random jobs. Honestly, I do like seasonal work with a education company that's really awesome to work for online. But their hours are flexible.
Yep.
And
nice.
and it's like kind of seasonal. It's almost like half year. And then I get to choose my hours, pretty much 20 to 40 hours. It's not glorious, but it pays the bills. Some of the bills. And then I do like a lot of household support. Like, we bought a house that is run down because you can't get a house in this area that is not.
Houses are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, what has happened?
We were only able to get it through family support, frankly, and a lot of privilege. And I think that's important to call out. Is like, we'd be living in an apartment right now if it wasn't for your grandma who, helped us out.
Right.
But like, it's run down. It needed pretty close to gutted it, minus the drywall. So I do a lot of like, I'm building kitchen cabinets. I do help out with the gardening and do a lot of the physical work around here. I put in the floors ourselves. I teach myself like construction on YouTube and then just apply it. Yep. And I've done it before, and it worked out well. So I'm doing it again, although it's like a balancing thing, really. So that's mostly what I do.
Yeah. So I'm a CPA. And then right now I work as an internal auditor for a nonprofit healthcare institution. I absolutely love my employer. Like, I do not think that
more than any employer you've ever worked for. Yeah.
I won the absolute lottery. Like,
yeah. And it's coming off of a place that was a little bit harder to work for.
Yes.
Yeah.
This place, like almost everyone I have encountered there, and it's a very large institution, is like committed to the work that they do. Like just a good person, like, you know, very accountable for things. Like transparency is a huge thing.
Accountable,
right? Accountants being accountable.
If you ever want any financial stuff, let us know and we'll make a video. No.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
yeah, no, for real. Like
finance questions.
Even though I'm a math guy, I don't do business. It's kind of weird. Like she tells me stuff. I'm like, I get that, but I couldn't do it. My brain turns off. But if you want us to do some stuff on accounting, like she's thought about it in the past. So like, just let us know if you want to have ideas.
I think for me too, my job right now is like, basically I get to talk to people that work at this healthcare institution. They tell me kind of their like struggles, like what they're struggling with at work. So like building rapport is like a huge part of what I do. And then I will go in and test it. And this is like operational stuff too. So it's not just like dollars and cents. Like we look into all kinds of different stuff, and it's a really, really cool dynamic job. And then I write a report, and I basically, me and my other coworkers get to tell leadership that they need to like focus on things so that they can help people do their jobs better.
There's all sorts of stuff too.
It's an amazing job.
Okay, so we've got 2 questions here that definitely start out the same. So maybe we'll start actually with Liz McDowell, because the other Tashenkas's question is the same at first, but then gets more out there.
After.
Yeah. Not that this isn't a fun one, because I actually really like this. So Liz McDowell and Tashenkas both ask pretty much, what made y'all decide to start doing YouTube videos? Do you want to talk about the initial?
Yeah, I think for me, I've wanted to do it for years.
It's like, almost 8 years or something.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. I didn't see the vision.
You didn't.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't.
You didn't. I mean, I didn't explain it well enough to you.
No, but we tried multiple times, and I was never fully invested.
Yeah.
I would help out. We'd do stuff. We'd film. I know how to edit. I know how to like do basic photography and stuff, but I didn't see what it could be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I just wanted to, because I watched YouTube videos. So I just think it's a cool platform. Like if you've ever thought, if you don't make YouTube videos now and you've ever thought about doing it, I mean, I would say do it. Like it's cool. It's like the entire platform is built on people sharing with each other and interacting with each other and being willing to kind of like put their content out there. And it is such a neat way to like connect with people that otherwise you would just never meet. And whether that's like watching shows together, like what we're doing, or like learning how to build like cabinetry, like some of the stuff you've done, or, you know, just watching somebody vlog about like their day-to-day life and kind of feeling like, you know, closer to that person from that. I just think it's all very, very cool. I love the platform. I
always saw the value in it. I just never knew what like we could get out of it. Is more of it, because I'm like I've been watching YouTube since like 2008 at least. But I never was like, oh, we could do that. Didn't
it come out in 2009? I don't think you were watching it since 2008. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
2009.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I was watching it since it came out. Okay, so maybe my date's wrong. Fact check me. All right.
So recently though, I was actually watching Mr. Gigi, and he is like, I love him. He's great.
He's all sorts of weird, like, horror stuff. Or, like, he's just a weird guy, honestly.
He's a weird guy, and I love watching him. Yeah. He's just, like, very creative, and his videos are very great. And he was doing, like, a Q&A, and one of the people asked him, they were like, you know, what do I do? I'm trying to start my channel, and I'm trying to think about, like, branding, and, like, should I only do this type of video? And he was literally like, just make garbage.
Nobody's going to watch it.
No one's going to watch it.
It's going to be trash.
It's going to be bad. Yeah. And he's like, but it's okay, because like it has to be bad first.
Yeah.
Like you have to make crappy videos before you're going to make good videos. And you have to have people watching you before you're going to know what an audience wants from you. Like you don't know what your community looks like because you don't have it yet. So
you
don't worry about it.
You need to build it and grow. We talked about like our relationship. You're not just going to get a relationship. You have to like build a relationship.
Yeah.
And like and in regards to your voice when you're making these videos and your your community, that gets built and created.
Right.
Like this is only like the space that we're all in right now is only partly created by us. We put stuff out there and it's shifted because of y'all.
Yeah.
And I think it's become a way more interesting place. And for me as a former educator, I feel like so like happy about the direction it's turning, and I want to keep going in this direction. So it's definitely like in regards to that, like has it evolved and changed thing. For me, it's evolving right now. I'm seeing some really cool. Like I feel like I'm learning every day. I'm coming on this and putting stuff out. Like I'm putting out like a vulnerable part of me, and then we're talking about stuff, and it's just honestly amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool. I like it for that too. I think I didn't think that so quickly we would have people like having really great conversations about big topics, and like I'm also learning a ton from the comments and just seeing people having like respectful conversations back and forth where they have questions or like differences of opinion. Like you can't not benefit from that. Like it's been really cool. Yeah. And it makes me want to keep doing it. Do you want to go back to Tashenkas?
Yeah, we're gonna. I think that kind of answers the first Q&A for Tashenkas. And then, I don't know, we're going to leave this up. I'm not going to read that whole thing at the bottom, although we thought that was hilarious.
It was funny. I like it a lot.
Fun one. If you had to join one of these shows, which one would it be for each and why? Or is it
Does
like...
it have to be a dating show? Can I pick a different
show?
So
we do have a question. If it has to be a dating show... I've never seen F-Boy Island.
I mean, there's like the ultimatum, which I absolutely do not want to go on. We're monogamous, so we can't really go on looking for another partner, you know?
I don't know. What is that one that we watched though with it has Dom in it? The one that they're doing the perfect match or whatever.
Oh yeah, perfect match.
Half of them don't even like really like get physical. You're just like you just like Dom for me is inspirational on that show because he's I just want a best friend, you know, and I'm
cute.
like that's the way I would be on that show.
Yeah.
And then there's like competitions and stuff, and it's kind of interesting in a way. And then like him and I don't remember her name, but there's a French woman on there the last time that I thought was really cool too. It's maybe that
I mean,
was a game
obviously
show
you can go on if you have a partner. So
yeah, obviously. Yeah. They text me up.
I would pick Love is Blind because I mean I have a partner, but Trevor didn't, and no one cares about that. Yeah. And I think the pods are really cool. Like I would like to talk to somebody through the pods and then see kind of like what someone else was saying before, like what icks I would get from the people through the wall.
It'd be like if Love is Blind fixed its authenticity issue.
But realistically, if it was any reality show, I would absolutely pick The Challenge or Survivor.
I would do Survivor. Ooh. Challenge, you just get destroyed by like...
Oh, yeah. I would get destroyed on either. People. Are you kidding me?
No, but Survivor is a more normal person's game, and that's on purpose.
True. The Challenge is like, oh, man.
The Challenge is like... scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a little scary.
Yeah. I've always been a pretty big... We've seen almost all the seasons of Survivor. So.
It's great. I love Survivor.
Yeah. It's classic.
Or Amazing Race. You and I could both go on Amazing Race.
Amazing Race!
Together.
Although we don't like traveling, so...
And also, I think that I don't do well under pressure.
Yeah.
So I would break down. Like, there's no way. Like, I would be the one that's, like, crying in the cab, like, 5 minutes in, and they're like, what is wrong with her? And I would be, like, sobbing. And you'd be like, you have to get out of the cab. Or, like, in one of those dancing challenges.
No,
stop. No, wait. They make them do, like, jigs and stuff. And then
the dancing would be horrible for us.
I would be messing it up every single time, and you'd be like, you can do it. And I was like, I can't do it.
And then you get mad at me. That would totally happen.
Yeah, everyone watching us would be like, oh my God, get them off the show.
We've got Mara Lucci here. 2 questions, and we'll go pretty quick on these because I think we pre-thought these. What's your guilty pleasure? Mine is In-N-Outs. I try to eat less meat. I try to eat healthier. I try to not to do a lot of fast food. I've eaten burgers all across the country, and I have to say I'm a huge In-N-Out fan. Yeah. I just am. And if you haven't had it, try it if you can. If you're ever out on the West.
You probably won't be impressed because people have built it up too much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just a good classic like diner burger. It's a good burger. It's not like it's not going to blow your mind, but it's reliable every time you go there. It's like stacked with like fresh vegetables. Like it's my kind of burger.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good burger. My guilty pleasure is currently thrifting for handmade pottery and stoneware, like
they're
vintage
cool.
Stoneware.
I'll say.
I'm filling our house with it and
And I don't have the kitchen cabinets totally built yet. So I'm like, okay, when we get the cabinets built, maybe we could.
Every time I bring in a new piece, he's like, where are you going to put it? And I'm like, I don't know, but it was beautiful. And what do you expect me to do? Just leave it there? It's $2, you know?
We have an agreement now, though, that she's going to stop bringing them in. So hold her accountable if she says anything in the future.
No, we said there are certain things that are exempt from the agreement, though.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
There are. What is a conspiracy theory you are down with? I don't currently really have many. I'm going to say that. When I was younger, when I was very young, and I'm going to put this, that I don't believe this anymore, I was kind of entertained by the 9/11 conspiracy theory. I do not like really any of those theories anymore because how they've been associated with like QAnon and like a really dark place of the internet. But when I was young, I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that out there. Also like cryptids. I think cryptids are cool. I've always been fascinated by them. I'm not super like, oh, Bigfoot exists, but I love the concept of a cryptid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. And when you say 9/11 conspiracy theory, you mean that like Dick Cheney orchestrated
Yeah,
it?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what's your conspiracy theory? I haven't heard this one yet.
Okay.
All right.
I have two. Okay. And my first one is Poot Lovato. Okay.
Poot Lovato.
That Demi Lovato had, I can't remember if Poot is supposed to be her twin or her sister. Okay. That she like keeps like hidden away because like Poot isn't allowed out. And then one day Poot came out and the paparazzi took her photo.
Is there a weird picture of Demi that they're saying is Poot? Okay.
And I actually, so this is kind of mean because I do feel bad for her because she does not like the photo and it's not flattering. You know what I mean?
But you like the conspiracy.
So funny. The photo is objectively funny.
And it's Poot.
And it's just great. And I love it.
Poot Lovato.
And then the second one is that Avril Lavigne, the real Avril Lavigne, died. Okay.
These are all doppelganger conspiracies.
Was replaced by a doppelganger Avril Lavigne. Why this would happen, I don't know. I'm sure there's backstory to all of it. I'm sure. Okay. But I don't go deep into these. But I just like... It warms my heart every time I think of Poot or Body Snatchers Avril Lavigne.
All right. I'd like to hear yours. Although, don't go too wild in the comments.
We don't support Flat Earth. We don't support QAnon. Like, no. Okay?
Yeah, and like anti-Semitic conspiracies.
Right, or like ancient aliens. No.
Yeah, that's racism, basically.
Like, no.
Emma GS or Emags. I don't know. I think it's an Emma GS,
MX?
right? Emags. I want to know more about Ashley's crochet practice. I'll just read this whole thing out. Did you teach yourself? Would you ever make content about crochet?
I did teach myself, and like, let's just make sure we keep our expectations low because I've made like 2 things. So I taught
wear
myself,
the hat sometimes.
That's true. Yeah. You do wear the hat. I taught myself very recently, so I'm like super new.
Baby.
And I've been watching it on YouTube and learning from different crochet YouTubers. And I've also, I don't know if anyone else is into this, but there's like a deep, dark world of like knitting and crochet drama. And I've been watching.
That's probably what jumped you into the hobby.
And I've been watching videos on that, and it is just shockingly interesting to me, and I think it did make me like want to crochet things then. So okay, well, I made him a really ugly part of a sweater. Yeah. Also,
and she just stopped. Well, we got busy with the Love is Blind.
Busy. But I will be picking it up. I don't know that I'm qualified to make content, but if we ever make like more like vlog style content, which we've talked about doing, I might do it on there, maybe.
Yeah,
but nothing like
we're
official.
Open to what people want to see, really. But
I'm not a good crochet. I can't teach anybody else how to crochet.
Similarly with me in permaculture / foraging, we both forge. I think I'm the one that pushed it initially. I grew up when I was a small child until I was like 7 in northern Michigan on an Air Force base that closed down since then. But I grew up like picking berries and like wintergreen leaves, and I don't know how I didn't poison and kill myself, but I was eating like blueberries and stuff as a small child. So I always I actually was technically foraging as like a 5-year-old, and I kind of picked it back up when we moved out here to the Pacific Northwest. The forests are so amazing, and then we got really into mushrooms because of this mushroom festival down at this really beautiful park in Eugene. And then ever since then we've been hooked. We do mushrooms. We do mushrooms. Like porcinis, chanterelles, morels, oysters. We also like usually around this time of year we start foraging like nettles and some greens. There's a lot of like really good greens that grow around here. Miner's lettuce.
I honestly like miner's lettuce is better than the lettuce you get in the grocery store.
It's so good. We'll come with like bags
forever.
Yeah, because it kind of stays alive if you just keep it. They're like really wet, loving plants.
Very turgid.
Anyway, they don't want to hear all this.
So great.
I would totally do that stuff in the future too. That's kind of more of a vlog style thing. We also both love like river hiking in the summer. There's some really cool rivers here where they're kind of shallow-ish and navigable, so we just walk up them. Just and then they have really amazing spots.
Yeah, there's like pools. They get like little waterfalls, and then they're like big enough that you can fully swim in, like can't touch the bottom, can swim in these like pools and stuff. And yeah, we love that.
We're open to sharing some of that stuff. Yeah, so that's. I mean, we have a million hobbies. I already said I'm into D&D. I play video games. One thing that I actually want to say this too. One thing I think is really cool about our relationship is that we both kind of show at least some interest in each other's hobbies. She's not crazy into D&D, but we started playing just a little bit with the two of us, and it was really fun. We only did a little bit before the show started, Love is Blind started, but it's cool that she's willing to try it out. Love is Blind is me checking out her hobbies. She'd watch this stuff without me, and I'd just be kind of sitting there like on my phone or doing something else. For the first couple of seasons, I'd be like, no, I don't really care, just play it. And you said like last season, you're like, I'm gonna watch it, you don't like this. I'm like, no, you can't watch it without me. And actually Love is Blind was initially the show that we wanted to start our channel on, because it's so ridiculous, but it's also fun to talk about. So that's like Misha. I feel like I show a lot of interest in the stuff that you love too, and it's really cool being able to like feel that back and forth. You're like my best friend, and so like you don't need to love everything I love, but you're willing to try out the things I love, and I think that's like kind of one of the really cool things. Yeah,
I'm also super into horror movies. Just throwing that out.
Yeah, we love movies too. But if you want to know more about us, stick around. We'll share more. Yeah. Especially when the season gets slow with like reality TV, we're probably going to start transitioning into like trying out some other things, like maybe some foraging. I would love to make some videos about us finding porcinis on the coast in the fall. It is when you find a mushroom like this big that you can eat, and then it's like a prized mushroom. It does something in my brain. I'm like addicted. We're going to diversify, like I said, but this is kind of what we're doing for a little while right now.
We just want to keep doing stuff that's like fun, and then it's also been really cool hearing other people's perspectives of some of the stuff that we talk about all the time. Yeah. But like we're in this weird little echo chamber, and it's just really nice to have the it's a breath of fresh air to have the perspective from outside for some of this.
I agree.
So
and some of them I like having the ones that make me think and like challenge my perspectives.
Yeah. So I want to keep doing stuff that is fun and or like fulfilling. Yeah. Like life fulfilling,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for subbing. Thank you for liking all of our videos. Thank you for talking to us. And I mean, like watching this and like learning a little bit about us. Like she said, I'd love to hear if some of you want to answer questions down below and tell us a little bit about yourselves. I mean, that's cool. I love hearing and learning about people. I love seeing your comments, and I like seeing that consistency of the same people like every other day or whatever. It's so cool.
It's cool. You start to get to know like how certain people are going to react to certain things, or like someone's going to like make sure that they like hold you accountable for like different pieces, like fact checking, or just like, oh no, here's like another perspective you didn't think of. And it's real great. I love it. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for subbing, and thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye. Then I got it knocked, and I started going,
ridiculous.
Oh, that was a tearjerker.
Hey, we're going to go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.